How's it going, guys? So, I decided to do something a little interesting here. As you can see, this is my big old watch list on Letterboxd here. I only, occasionally update it. I kind of stopped after a while because I figured, for every one of these I knock off, I add, 10 more. I just figured, if I want to watch a movie that I haven't seen, I just watch it. I don't worry about putting it on the watch list. But nevertheless, I never got rid of this. I've had this watch list for a while, and I figured a fun way to kind of knock some movies off here would be to do a fun thing where what I would do is I would randomize it, and then whatever the top 5 up here would be, I would pick one of them to watch and talk about. So as you can see, I have a variety of different stuff. Some of these I added the day I got a Letterboxd, I think, back in I want to say 2018, 2019. So we're just gonna go ahead. We're gonna randomize this here. I probably should have figured out how to do that before I did this. Hold on a sec. Yeah, shuffle. Here we go. All right. Okay, so we're just going to randomize this here. And whichever top 5 it lands on, I got to pick one of the 5. Will I have to watch It's the Girl in the Red Truck, Charlie Brown? Will I have to watch... I don't know, it's another weird one I got in here. Brain Dead by Peter Jackson. What else we got? Yeah, it should be one of these. So yeah, whichever the top 5 is, I gotta pick one of them. So here we go. Let's shuffle it up. Where's the shuffle one? Here we go. Okay, interesting selection. We got Killing Them Softly. We have Misery. The original Dawn of the Dead. Call Me by Your Name. And Sicario. This is a pretty good selection. I was a little worried for a minute there. Killing Them Softly, I've heard pretty mixed things about. I've heard the main complaint I've heard is that it's pretty slow, pretty meandering. But I'm interested to check it out. I've heard kind of good things. Misery, I've actually wanted to see this for a while because I've read the book a while back. Because I got into a huge Stephen King phase at a point in time, so I really want to watch the movie. I've also been on a bit of a Rob Reiner kick too, because When Harry Met Sally, Princess Bride, those are some of my all-time favorites. Dawn of the Dead. I'll be honest, it's not that I'm not a zombie movie guy, I just haven't watched nearly enough, so I might go with this one. Call Me by Your Name. I didn't know a whole lot about. I like the director. I think it's Luca Guadagnino. I've seen Challengers a while back, and I really liked that one. Yeah, I like them. I've listened to the music of this one by Sufjan Stevens, and that's really great. And then Sicario, I believe this one's by Denis Villeneuve, who is one of the all-time greatest, needs no introduction. So this is a tough one. This is a really tough one. I think of the 5, I might go with... I think I'm going to go with Misery. Yeah, Misery is one I've been meaning to watch for a while. So yeah. Yeah, I'm going to watch Misery. And then I'm going to talk about it. So I will see you shortly once I finally watch the movie.
Yeah. Welcome
I think we can both begin. I did the intro before when I was doing the watch list thing, so we can just talk about how we both watched Misery. This right here, if you don't know, is my girlfriend McKenna. She's the one who got me into Stephen King. If it was not for her... Oh, I forgot to turn the lamp on. Hold on.
Let there be light.
Yep, let there be light. If it was not for her, I probably would not have gotten into Stephen King, and I wouldn't have read the Misery book. I probably would have seen the movie first. Can you believe that?
That would have been tragic.
That would have been disgusting.
Then we never would have dated.
Yeah, it's tragic.
Thank God. Things happen for the way they do, for a reason.
But yeah. It was one of those few instances where I actually read the book first, before the movie. So, this was a unique experience for me.
Aren't you an English teacher?
We can cut this part out. We can cut this part out, actually. Yeah.
Also, cut my double chin out while you're at it.
What double chin?
This.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So we watched Misery, as we know, based off the acclaimed novel by Stephen King, directed by... I got it closer to the mic. Directed by the late Rob Reiner.
My fave.
He is our fave. He really is our... We really got into him over the course of the past, few months.
I didn't realize that I had been loving the stuff that he did. I didn't realize.
Yeah, because you love Princess Bride.
I love the Princess Bride.
Not realizing he made it. And then we both fell in love with When Harry Met Sally.
And
Stand By Me. Yeah.
Stephen King's other best piece of work. Best short story, best novel.
Yep.
The Body, Misery.
Yeah.
And I will not be responding to comments about that because I'm correct.
Okay. And so the premise of Misery is it's an author who gets into a car accident and ends up being rescued, quote unquote, by his number one fan, Annie Wilkes. And then he finds out, she finds out through reading his manuscript that he killed off the main character of this book series he was writing. And she gets a little upset about that and has him rewrite, or I guess not rewrite, but write a story where she's brought back to life. So, McKenna, let's start with, what did you think of Misery?
I enjoyed it. I was most concerned about the portrayal, or I guess that's the word I'm looking for, of Annie. Because Annie is a cockadoodie.
She is a cockadoodie.
A cockatootie birdie.
As she would describe herself.
Yes. And Annie can switch like that. And in the books, there was I would say a relatively slow burn. Not super slow, but there was a build-up where Annie seemed okay. But it took a while to determine, is he paranoid or is she really crazy? And I'm worried about how the pacing in the movie would reflect that. But I was pleasantly surprised.
I like how it's built up, too, because, the first you see of Annie, she's this, perfectly sweet, kind person. She rescued this man. She's, nursing him back to health. And then you get this little scene where she brings him some soup, and then, she kind of spills it, and then she gets, unrealistically, not unrealistically, but she gets really angry about it. Unreasonably, that's the word I'm looking for. She gets unreasonably angry about it, and you just think okay, maybe she's a little prone to anger, but nothing much else beyond that. Sort of hinting at the psycho she really is to come.
I think if you know nothing about the movie, at that scene, there is still a moment where you're unsure, because I think that you could still chalk it up to she seems isolated.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
like with that scene, you think like, okay, she's a little like maybe she's a little prone to anger, but like she's still like a sweet person. Like she's still helping this man, and then you get the moment where she comes through the door and she's read the manuscript, and she found out she killed all the kids, and then suddenly she just turns.
But before you even get there, the first thing, because when Paul is taken in by Annie, he's unconscious. The first thing he hears is what? Do you remember?
It's when he's unconscious.
As he's waking up, the first thing he hears. Do you remember what it was?
Is it her repeating, "I'm your number one fan"?
She just says it once. "I'm your number one fan." And then she starts explaining what happens, and she does say it again, but she doesn't repeat it right away. And you're like, that's a little weird, but then she starts talking about how she wants to help him, starts talking about what happened, and you know, it seems like there's a somewhat reasonable explanation for why he's not in a hospital. So
and you kind of see like little hints of it, like you see the picture of him on her wall. You see all of his books there, which like, I mean, having all of his books there is fine, but like you see the picture of him on her mantle or on her wall, and you think like, okay, it's a little bit of a crazed fan, but like nothing too insane. But then later on, and I'll go back to what we were talking about, but later on, I think my favorite scene in the entire movie is just that shot where he's sitting there at dinner with her, and his photo from 20 years ago is right next to it's
her.
Right in the background, and you see it,
and you can it's very clear. But going back, I mean, before you even see that any of that stuff is there, before it even builds beyond that, it's just the first thing she says is, "I'm your number one fan." And I think it's one of those things you can be like, okay, like, that was weird, but whatever, and you just move on. So anyway, I think if you don't know how the story is going to progress, like I said, you're going in not knowing anything about the movie. It's just that little bit of uncertainty, because they couldn't do as slow a build as they did in the book, but I liked the way they did it in the movie.
Yeah, I like how because like in the book you do see, what I found clever in the book is that you see the scenes of the fake book that Paul's writing play out, which I get why you can show that, like you wouldn't show that in the movie, or maybe they thought about doing it, but they probably it just wasn't in like the budget or anything. They didn't have enough time. But what I especially like about those is that because the end key wasn't working, and so when you'd read those chapters, like the end would be written in like pencil. And I thought that was a really clever idea.
I loved the line in the movie where Annie just says, "I'll fill in the ends for you, Paul." Like, she's so eager, and it's like, I think that was a nice nod to that aspect of the book that they couldn't show in the movie. So a nice nod to that.
For sure. Yeah, and we were talking about Annie, like Kathy Bates, like she like nails that role perfectly.
I was unconvinced in the beginning. I wasn't sure, because it's been a while since I read the book, and what I remember most about Annie was that she was like undesirable. Whether or not that's true, or whether that's just how I remember it. Yeah. And when Kathy Bates first comes on screen, it's like, she seems fine. Like, I thought she was kind of cute. Like, she just she was just there. I mean, she was wearing clothes that were appropriate for being on the farm at that time. Like, I mean, she seemed
cinematic 80s classic, My Best Friend is a Vampire.
I don't know what that is.
It's a very, I have it with me right
Bleep
here.
that out. Let the movie fans think that I know what it is.
Yeah, it's a very like old 80s, like I don't want to say cult classic. I'm pretty sure I'm the only soul who even is familiar with this movie at all. She's not on the cover at all.
She's in this movie?
She is. She's in one scene.
Okay. Well, Kathy Bates.
Yep.
She... And also, Annie was supposed to be not, like, hulking by any means, but Annie was supposed to be this, like, solid, like, farm woman. And and I didn't get that immediately on seeing Kathy Bates, but clearly, like, as her performance went on, I mean, she was great.
Yeah.
So that was a nice surprise, and I think it adds to the movie. You know, I mean, if she matched, I just think she was good, very good.
Yeah, and so Kathy Bates, she won an Oscar for this movie. Not only that, this was the only award this was nominated for, and it won.
I mean, she made that movie,
which does not happen very often.
The same way that book is not. I mean, it's a lot about Paul because it's from his perspective, but Annie drives every single part of that book.
With that said, though, I think James Caan as Paul like really sold the like a lot of the fear of it. You're a little on the fence.
He did well.
He did well.
He did well, but he did not make the movie the way Annie did.
He worked. He worked for what was needed.
Fine.
And I think what's interesting about this is then like in a lot of kidnapping movies or like episodes of like Law and Order or Criminal Minds or stuff, like you see the victim is either like they're like obviously they can't leave because they're either tied up or they're like trapped in a basement. With Paul, like he's just confined to a bed because he's injured. Like he's not like tied up or anything.
Do you think the movie, I mean, there's that one scene where she pulls the sheets back and she's like, I did the best I could. I think I did as well as any doctor could have, you know, with my materials. And they show his legs and they look big and swollen and bruised. But, like, do you think the movie showed, like, the pain that he was in as well as the book did? Because another thing the book did was he was addicted to the pills. I mean, and the movie...
And, like, they show him... That's another thing. I was confused about that.
From the beginning, he was hoarding the pills.
I was confused about it because he was smuggling the pills in the movie.
We know...
But, like, we don't really see him take... Because I know he was addicted to the pills.
In the book, that was a huge part of it. Was as much as he wanted to escape, he was addicted. There were times, you know, in the movie, immediately he starts smuggling the pills. And we find out later it's because he wanted to try and poison Annie. He wanted to give her an overdose so he could figure out how to leave. In the books, it was a long time, and he was partially healed before he could even start thinking about doing any of that because he was in so much pain. So that's why I say, do you think the movie showed as much desperation and pain as the book did? I would say no. Partially because immediately he starts hiding the pills. I don't know how much more gory that scene with his legs could have been. I mean, the one where she smashes his ankles was rough. But I just don't know that his pain and, like, I don't know if that was as much a driver in the movie as it was in the books. I think he just wanted out in the movie.
The one thing I will say is that something I like about how, like, both King and I guess by extension Reiner, and I guess I can't remember. I can't remember who wrote this movie. So there's a different screenwriter too. But one thing that I feel like they kind of prioritize with this movie is like discomfort and pain, because like through this whole, again going back to the whole like the kidnapping thing, like through this whole time, like he's just in this constant pain. And like you said, like he may not have like sold it completely, but that is kind of the idea that they're going for.
It comes back to the pacing, right? Because like they could in the book he had however many pages to space all that out. In the movie, I don't know how many scenes we could have shown of him, you know, hoarding the pills and then not being able to take it anymore because something happened and taking too many, and like that would set him back.
I do wish they had kept him being addicted to the pills, because in the movie the reason he's hoarding the pills was so he could like
poison Annie.
So he could drug her. Yeah. I do wish they had kept the whole like him being addicted to it thing, because that creates a whole other layer of like yes, I'm in this dire situation, but also I'm in extreme pain.
Right.
I feel like I think that's something that King was able to like really capture, is pain.
And that's what I'm trying to say, in a way the movie really does not. and that it made Paul like pathetic at times. I mean, that the movie was hard to watch because I said to you at one point I hate him, and I didn't really. But when he couldn't just get back to his room because we knew Annie was coming, it was like, dude, why are you pushing your luck? Just get back in that bed. In the movie,
he's more so just like a victim.
I mean, in the book that was true also, but my frustration with him was not just like, stop pushing your luck. It was also, dude, push through because, like, you know, we could move this along faster if you weren't addicted to the pills.
In the book, he was more of like a character who had like these flaws. And
in the book, there was a scene, like in the movie, where he took the pills and he smuggled them. In the book, there was a scene where he took too many. Yeah. Or I can't remember if he took too many and she noticed they were missing from his room, or if he took too many into the room and she found them in the bed, or if he had taken too many and she knew he had overdosed. I don't remember what the situation was. But I know Annie's reaction to that was big. And if I remember correctly, the way it was written, it was clouded a little bit by the fact that he had been taking so many pills that it was, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that was missing from the movie, and I would have liked to have seen that. But again, I don't know how much of this you could have included without making a much longer movie.
So yeah, we talked about a lot of the stuff that's the same in the book. We haven't touched on any of the stuff that was added, like Richard Farnsworth as the sheriff.
Well,
because unlike the book, there are points in the movie where it cuts away from the cabin, and we see this sheriff character who's looking for this missing person who we know is Paul.
Yep.
So, what did you think of that? Because I have my thoughts on that.
Well, again, the pace of the movie. I think that, especially for someone who hasn't read the book, watching Paul sit in that room for the entirety of the movie would have been boring, even if things were happening. So I think those scenes, and also it was heavy. I mean, I think those scenes with the sheriff and his wife added just a little bit of a break, both from the same, literally one room, and the heaviness of it all. I mean, until he goes to see Annie, of course. But I enjoyed them. I think they added a little bit of, maybe comic relief is too strong, but a little lightness and a little relief.
Like from the joke where it's like when they're in the car, so like when you're in this car with me, you're not my wife, you're my deputy.
You liked that one.
Like it's cute.
You liked it.
It's cute.
You liked it.
Yeah.
And you talked about, I don't know if you've said it here yet, but you talked about how frustrating it was that those scenes added a new level of frustration because you can see how close the sheriff keeps getting to finding them. And my favorite was the scene where he and his wife are out and they see the tree branch, which I don't understand why seeing a tree branch was enough for him to go, let's look over here. But it was a plot device. It worked. It was fine. And he's like tumbling down this snowbank, and he was like right there, but his wife is mouthing off a little bit.
I love the shot where you see the tire in the foreground, and then him in the background.
That's what I was about to say. Is he's right there, and his wife is like, "Are you okay down there?" He's gets annoyed, so he turns right around. It's like he was so close. You kept mentioning that as we were watching it, that he was right there. And so a little bit of comic relief, a little bit of a break from the boring scenery of that room, and also another level of frustration, and like it has you on the edge, like he's right there. So I do think it added to the movie.
I think it added to the movie in a couple ways, because A, it was a good source of levity, and B, it kind of gave this sense of like
I'm listening. I'm sorry.
Of like kind of hope, like, oh, there's people looking for him, like, oh, they're eventually gonna find him, and then that hope gets kind of like taken away once he comes back and gets killed by Annie. I think that was really effective, especially because look, a similar scene does happen in the book when I think it was the cop who showed up, who got like lawn mowed in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is that how it happened? Is that how he died?
I honestly don't remember, and the fact that I don't remember is kind of crazy if that's really how he died.
It was like a really like out of nowhere, gory scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, when that happened, like, we didn't really get to know the guy all that much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was a similar idea where it was like, oh, it was a sense of hope. It was like, oh, a guy could come to save me, and then he dies. Here, I feel like we don't get a ton of scenes with the sheriff, but we get to know him a little more. And, like, we know he has a wife, and so what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I do think one of the things that including the sheriff does is it kind of reduces the sense of isolation that you get in the book.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we know that Annie went to town.
Yeah.
And we know that she was gone for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But it still felt like the farm was more remote to me than it did in the movie because, you know, they were up there investigating. They were driving around on the roads to try and see if they could find the car. Like, it
mm-hmm.
to me felt like they were always closer to Paul than it did in the book.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Did you find it intense at all when she was coming back from the store and then Paul was still like
Yes.
on the ground?
Because I shouted that I hated him.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't really hate him, but I was thinking, like, you know she's coming back. Don't push your luck. Because especially once he got to the kitchen, I wasn't super clear on what he was looking for. Like, I know eventually he grabs a knife and he puts it under the mattress, but I don't think it was that time that
Doesn't she find the knife?
She does find the
later?
Knife.
Yeah, and it doesn't end up getting used.
But to me, like, it was his first outing. You went, you found the pills, like, go back to bed before she catches you, get a better feel for how long she'll be gone next time she goes to town, and, like, play the long game a little bit.
Yeah.
And in the book, he was, I remember him being on the ground for longer, struggling to get up. That was another thing the movie did, was, like, he got back into that chair so fast. The book, it was, like, painstaking to read because it was slow and because he was in so much pain for him to get back into the wheelchair. So, again, it comes back to timing and, like, all those things, pacing the movie, whatever. But, yeah, I definitely think that, I don't even remember what your original question was, but I think that, that was what was frustrating about Paul. Yes, I did feel a sense of, like, urgency and, like, my heart was going because...
Yeah, for sure.
It's frustrating that he could have been in bed sooner. And then...
So it was less intense and more just frustrating.
Well, I knew what was going to happen because I read the book. So I knew there wasn't going to be a big reaction from Annie necessarily that time. It was more just like, because I'm sure he's going to get back in his chair and he's going to get back in bed, like, let's move this along. But maybe the experience is different for someone who hasn't read the book.
Yeah, it probably was.
So. I mean, that was what was so gripping about that book, though, I think, was nothing happens. Like, he doesn't, I mean...
I wouldn't say nothing happens.
Stuff happens, but, like, he never leaves. Like, the action isn't...
It's all confined into the into the cabin. It's kind of like a bottle
there
episode.
There was so much detail about the pain that he was in. So many, like, little tiny excruciating moments that, like, were described. You just don't get that in the movie. And I think that was some of the magic.
It really emphasizes the pain.
The movie?
The book.
The book does, yes.
And the isolation, because you never leave that cabin.
Right.
Until the very end.
There were times in the book, too, where I think the isolation was getting to him so much that was another reason for the pills. I haven't read it in a long time, so that might be incorrect, but...
Yeah. I do want to reread it now, actually.
I want to reread it, too. Especially because I did reread it a while ago, but I only think I reread the first half. So when we talk about the second half of the movie, I think I'll have less to say about the comparison to the book because I don't remember that quite as well.
Yeah. I don't know what King himself thought of this. Do you have any?
The only thing I've read is that he loved Kathy Bates.
Okay.
And he was very impressed with her portrayal of Annie. I watched it on Prime, and on Prime it has like the little X-ray overview when you pause it and whatever, so you can see who's in the scene. It'll give you trivia and whatever about
those
it.
are fun. Sometimes it'll give you like some really interesting stuff, and other times it'll give you like pretty obvious.
So the one that I saw when I paused it was that he was so impressed with Kathy Bates that when he wrote Dolores Claiborne, he wrote it with her in mind for the eventual adaptation.
Yeah.
Which she was in.
Yeah.
She was also in like a limited series, I think, based on something else. I don't remember off the top of my head. The Stand, maybe?
Oh my gosh. Yes, it was The Stand.
Yeah. But he wrote Dolores Claiborne specifically with her in mind because he was so impressed with her as Annie. And I have not read Dolores Claiborne yet, but I know it's fantastic. So
I mean, yeah,
I know that.
If there's anything about this movie to praise, it is her performance.
As evidenced by her
Annie Wilkes.
Oscar
By her
win.
Oscar win. Like she like Oscar win or not, like she nailed it.
I mean, it was so important because first of all, there's two main characters. And one of them, I'm not gonna say he doesn't do a lot because he does do a lot, just in a different way. But
one of them just kind of confined to a
like Annie had
bed.
to be perfect for the movie to work. And regardless of whether or not you liked the movie, it worked in large part because of Kathy Bates, I think.
Yeah, she has to be like sweet and unassuming at first, then maybe a little unreasonably agitated as it goes on, kind of hinting at her craziness.
Yep.
And then full on psycho once she like full on angry once she reads the manuscript. And even then she still goes back and forth.
That's what I was gonna say. Is even after I feel like that happens
like
in
it's not even a sense where it's like, oh, it's like a slow like crescendo to like her becoming this monster. Like even after like the mask is off, like it's still she's still flip-flops.
That's exactly what I was gonna say, because I feel like a lot of movies that have that character, once they reach that point, it's just them.
Yeah.
And I think that it makes Annie a very interesting character, but also it's more interesting because you know, when a character reaches that point and they stay there, like they're, I think, a little bit predictable. Annie, it's like, you know, Paul still has cards to play, and he does, but you don't know if they'll be enough or not. So that makes her a more interesting character, I think.
Yeah.
And Kathy Bates did that part very well too. I mean, that scene where they're at dinner and she spills the wine is, first of all, super frustrating because even I wanted to see. I mean, was he going to drug her and it was going to be enough and he was going to get something done while she's out, but then she'd come to? Was it going to kill her? But even that scene where she knocks it over and she's so sorry. And then, like, she's so mad at Paul, like, so shortly after, I think, if I'm remembering right. That was very good.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have anything more? I don't know if you have anything more to add. I don't think I do.
One thing that you pointed out was he was lifting the typewriter.
Oh my gosh, yeah, the
like,
typewriter.
Why is he doing that?
I was wondering why he was doing that, because he was just lifting the typewriter as he was typing.
And she said it was a 50-pound typewriter, and I'm like, why are you doing that?
As he was working.
And when he's in such pain, even though his arms aren't in pain, well, his shoulder was dislocated. I was like, how can he do that? I mean, 50 pounds isn't crazy, but like, he's in pretty bad shape, and he's just lifting 50 pounds over his head. I was, why is he doing that? And then it wasn't until you said it to me that I put it together, like, oh, he was lifting it because he was hoping...
Yeah, that's why he was lifting it, because then he threw he burned the story, threw it on the ground, and then she went to grab it, and then just threw it onto
and lighting the story on fire because he knew she would bend down. That got me. I'm like I said, I should remember more details about how the book ended, but it was so long ago that I don't. I think I read it in middle school.
Yeah, it was a good kind of a callback to when she made him burn his book, like, because he wanted to be done with like the Misery series.
Yep.
And so he wanted to write something that was more, he felt was more his own.
It's so funny to me that he killed Misery because he wanted to be taken more seriously. He wanted to be more than like a romance, chick lit, whatever author.
Yeah.
And what's more serious than the trouble you got in with Annie Wilkes? Is this serious enough for you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, somebody takes you seriously.
So someone, yeah. Yeah, it's another thing because like obviously like crazed fans and stuff like that. That's been around like long before the book even existed. And I think that's partially. I don't know for sure. I think it's partially why like what gave King inspiration to write it. But do you think like there's almost kind of more relevance to it now? Obviously, with like people online like taking things way too seriously.
Maybe.
I know that's a culture that you're obviously very, very familiar with.
Super immersed.
Aware. Oh yeah. You're always on the subreddits and everything. For sure. Yeah.
Hey, don't diss Reddit. Diss Twitter.
Oh yeah.
Reddit next. Twitter first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something to think about. It would be interesting to see, potentially, and don't steal my idea, a modern Misery with like a fan that like stalked his Twitter or just a different take on Misery with more modern fan culture included. That would be interesting. That's a project for you over the summer.
Because you can
write, produce, direct, and edit.
You can do this sort of thing with like take any like nerd property.
No, don't let them. They're not gonna do it. You're gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm sure some version of that exists, but I would like to see. I would like to see something well done.
Definitely
about that, and we'll get Kathy Bates to play her too.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I think she's probably like the only one involved in that movie who's still alive. Unfortunately.
What do you think of the very ending where he's sitting with his agent? I mean, like, do you think people really took him seriously because that book got published? Or do you think people took him seriously because of what happened to him and they wanted to see what he produced after that happened to him? Because she jumps right into talking about the nonfiction deal. Talk about what happened with Annie.
I think it was a bit of both.
You think so?
Because I know, didn't Stephen King, I think this happened after, like, long after Misery. Like, didn't he get into, like, a car accident?
He did.
And then, yeah.
But it was well after Misery came out.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then, did any of his books gain any more popularity after that?
I don't know. That's a good question. I'm sure they did.
Yeah. So, that'd be an interesting parallel.
The one other thing I was thinking was, do you remember in the book Paul being more arrogant than he was in the movie?
Yeah, he was definitely a bit more of a hotshot. I know. Yeah, he talked a lot about. So I think like the movie begins like it sort of like gets right.
Yeah.
Down to business.
In the book,
him getting in the accident and then him getting rescued, and then it cuts to like a flashback of him like wanting to end the Misery series, write his own novel. I think the book, from what I remember, the book kind of placed more of an emphasis on whatever the book was that he was writing, which made the scene where Annie made him burn it like all the more tragic and heartbreaking. Because, what were you going to say?
Do you think anybody but, in my opinion, the second best short storyteller could have executed that as well? I'm sure there are others that could have executed it plenty well, but I think it's really cool that Stephen King is so great at these short stories, and I think that lended itself to this, where both of the stories that were in the book were decent stories. I wouldn't have read Misery. Misery's, Rebirth or whatever he called it.
What was the second one? Was it the one that he wrote?
But the one that he originally wrote, Paul, I mean, it's King has to portray like that this is quality work and like work that Paul believes in, and work that is convincing to Annie. Like, so those snippets in the book that we read,
it's like it's realistic. Like you can see this sort of thing existing in this world.
I just think it's very Stephen King that he was able to, within the book, make two stories that you're at least somewhat bought into. I think that's cool.
Yeah. He can still write it. Is he still writing books?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. And, any opportunity to bring up that he is, in fact, the second best short storyteller.
Who's the first best?
Anthony Doerr.
Anthony Doerr. I didn't know you wrote short stories.
You need to read The Shell Collector.
Okay. Oh, you mentioned The Shell Collector to me.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I've only read All the Light per your recommendation, and then I need to finish Cloud Cuckoo
This
Land.
video is not sponsored, but I would like it to be. So Anthony Doerr, if you're listening, have your people call my people. He's 15 and he's a little bit rude, but give him a call.
Okay. I forgot what I was gonna say, but yeah, I think it'd be cool if King actually wrote some of these short stories.
It'd be pretty cool if Sting got involved too.
If Sting got involved, yeah. He would do the music for the movie adaptation.
There you go.
He'll probably just end it with a giant spider, though.
I don't really know anything about Sting.
I was talking about Stephen King in that scenario.
Okay,
Isn't that how it ends?
I don't know. I haven't read it.
The spider.
I haven't seen the movies either because I tell myself I'll read the book, but I'm never gonna read that book.
Yeah.
It's too long.
It is very long. It's like over 1,000 pages.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Final thoughts?
I mentioned this to you before, but do you know my introduction to Misery?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I do.
So my introduction to Misery was a Family Guy parody where Brian played Paul and then Stewie played Annie.
I don't know who Brian is.
Brian's the dog.
Brian the horse is here.
Brian the horse?
Brian, the horse is here.
Oh, no, it's PETA the horse is here.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry. I think I've said that to you before and you corrected me then too.
But it was an episode where it was like an anthology where each segment was a different parody of a Stephen King story. They did Stand By Me, Misery, and then Shawshank.
3 that are fairly popular.
Yeah.
For good reason, I think. I think those are all very good.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Tune in next time when I talk Matt into talking about Stand By Me.
I'd be down to talk Stand By Me. It wouldn't be for this series, though, because I've already seen it, so it wouldn't be on the...
It'll be for your second...
It wouldn't be on the watch list.
Your second series.
Be on my second series? What's the second series?
Matinee plus McKenna.
Matinee plus McKenna? I'd be down for that.
Okay.
Yeah. Alright. So yeah, I think that about does it for talking about Misery.
Remind them to vote.
Vote for what?
Whether or not they want S'more to be the third commentator in the next episode.
Oh, yes. Yeah, if you want S'more to be the third whatever it is we are, whatever the third reviewer, text yes to, what was the number? 555
555
555. But if not, text no. I really, really, really don't want S'more to 555.
5.
And remember, whatever happens, whether S'more joins or not, remember, you asked for this. This can't be undone. S'more is here to stay. If you vote yes, we're just going to have him for future videos. I'm just going to have him like in the corner there.
Just add like a little sticker of him constantly doing his dance.
It's like a little gif of him.
Halfway through the video, he'll start like sweating.
He'll just be in the corner. He'll just be like on my face as he does it.
He'll just like slowly move. Yeah.
It'll be like that DVD menu thing.
Much slower though.
From a S'more
it'll be totally infuriating.
It'll just be S'more. But yeah, that's about it for Misery. Thank you very much, McKenna, for joining.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Anytime. And thank you, the watcher or listener, depending on...
Viewer, perhaps.
viewer. Why didn't I think viewer first? I don't know. Yeah.
Until next time.
Until next time. Take care. That's just how I've always signed off. I don't know.
I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah. I have no idea how else to do it. Is that how you're gonna do it? You need the glasses. You're gonna read their minds, like Professor X.
That's like this.
Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da.
Can we get the rights to that music?
It'd
just
probably
kidding.
be very
I'm just kidding. I'm
expensive.
just kidding. Get your violin real quick.
Maybe later.
Yeah.
I'd have to. It's been a while. I'd have to really tune it. So.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.